Welcome back to the Bloated Chef. I am Chef Jerome, an actual bloated chef. And before we get to today's informative and entertaining tutorial, please be sure to slap down on that like button, click the subscribe button, smash that notification bell, and share with the entire planet. Please keep your hands inside the ride at all times, and we thank you. And welcome back to the big board, the Bloated Chef. It is still cold down here in Dirty Dixie, so it's still soup season. Hell, I think it's always soup season. But we've got a doozy today. We're going to make Italian wedding soup. We're going to use chicken for our meatballs. Got some neat little teeny pastas, spinach, fresh herbs, breadcrumbs, eggs, all the fixins. Italian wedding soup, Bloated Chef style. So we'll just go ahead and blast through our chopping of the celery and the onions. All done. Mise en place number 2 is set up. Time to execute. In go some very finely minced onions, a hefty, and I mean hefty amount of pepper and salt. It is unseasoned chicken. I'm pretty sure it doesn't come seasoned, so you've got to give it a pretty good poke of both. Okay? In goes some of my favorite thing ever, fried garlic. It's fried, it's toasted, it's crispy, it dissolves, it's yummy. It really does add a super good pop of flavor. And we'll finish that off with a little bit of Italian seasoning. And as with any meatball or meatloaf mixture, you need to bind. Binder is typically eggs and breadcrumbs, or in some cases, they use oats. I prefer panko, which is what I'm using. Pre-seasoned garlic and herb, and I will put this sucker on the mix. And from here we will be liberal in our mixing. Take your time, get it all incorporated, make sure that egg is whipped all the way through, breadcrumbs are absorbing, looking good. Keep going, keep going. Like I said, be diligent, be diligent. Alright, this mix looks to be well put together. Time to add a little pop with some fresh basil. Chop it mighty fine, chop it mighty good, drop it in, continue to mix. Make sure that's spread liberally throughout the mixture. And just for a kick, how about some Parmigiano? This happens to be Pecorino Romano. Yes, I know. So, let's start forming our meatballs. We want to make them about a ½ ounce each. We don't want gigantic meatballs in our soup. Those look to be about right. Keep your hands wet. Keep your hands moist. And the meatballs will come out great. Meanwhile, behind us on the stovetop, I've got a banging chicken stock working. Had a couple of turkey bones and some chicken necks, making a beautiful stock. And we turn back around, finish up our meatballs. Those are looking nice. Those are looking perfect. Let's go ahead and strain that chicken stock so we get a nice, beautiful brew. That's going to be the base and the basis for this entire soup. It's all about the stock, people. All about the stock. All right, heading down the home stretch. Heat on under the pan. Properly preheated pan, a little bit of butter, or a knob as they say in the industry, some extra virgin olive oil, and we will begin to sear our meatballs. That's right. We're going to sear them, brown them, and pull them. We're not going to cook them all the way. All right, we will do a quick turnover as we've developed a nice little brown sear on one side. Also releasing a little bit of that flavor into the bottom of the pan. That is what we will cook our vegetables in when we're done cooking these meatballs. All right, one more round of searing the meatballs, and in go our vegetable celery onions. Once again, season at every level. Healthy dose of pepper. A very light dose of salt. The chicken stock will take care of that from now on. There goes some more Italian seasoning. And we start to stir and to cook them down and sweat them. In goes some garlic. Perfect. Sweating them down. Picking up a little bit of that fond on the bottom. In goes our spinach and arugula mix. That's right. Good healthy dark greens. Always good for you. 5 quick minutes later, that water has been cooked out. All that green doesn't look like much now, does it? In goes a little bit of white wine. In this case, it's Shaoxing wine, rice wine. Not to matter. Just to pull up all that good flavor on the bottom, which you can see it has done. Now we're going to add just about a 1/4 cup of flour. This will keep our soup brothy, but it will enable the meatballs and everything else to float nicely in there. You with me? I thought so. Time for that lush, luxurious, beautiful chicken stock that was simmering for about 3.5 hours. Yum. Yeah, it smells a little bit like Thanksgiving in here right now. But when is that ever a bad thing? I ask you. Get that flour well incorporated into the stock. We're going to add it in small batches at a time. All right, in with our second batch. We've got about 2.5 to 3 quarts of chicken stock in there. We will bring that to a boil. Add our meatballs to let them finish in that stock. And we'll lower the heat and let that come to a nice hard simmer. And finally, we will add our last bit of stock, another couple of cups. Crank that up, bring it to one last rolling boil, and in goes our little mini pastas. And from here, we just kill the heat, mix that pasta around so it doesn't stick, and the residual heat from this chicken stock will cook that pasta perfectly without overcooking it. Very important, obviously. Let's get this in a bowl. Let's garnish it properly. And let's get a little taste-a-vu, shall we? I'm thinking at least 4 meatballs, possibly 5. Yeah, let's do 5. There we go, a little more broth. There we go with a pinch of pecorino romano and a little pinch of basil for garnish. Time to taste. Looks like he's trying to do a thumbs up. What is it, 2 thumbs sideways? I guess that'll work, huh? Oh, yeah.
What are you doing?